You must come along and wearing Highland gear, kilt, they had a bit of colour to this. Oh, okay. But it was good. We came out, and it's still used. Now, what I'll point out is, can you imagine this? The Royal Engineers themselves put this place together. But look at these arches you see here, right across here. This is Jarrah. Now you can't bend Jarrah like that. That looks like a thick plank, but it's not. What they've done is laminated. They've brought it down the river, they've sliced it up in the mills here, and they've made it long strips. There's 10 of them in there. So what they've done is put that under steam and pressure, and then you can see the pegs in it, turning it into this thing, this big arch that's allowed this building, the church here, the chapel, to be this size. When we look at the chapel itself, this way here, they're told, is to freedom through the church. Behind us, and we'll get there towards the end, is punishment, and it's real punishment. Back there is real punishment. Should you misbehave, this is great, we'll take you later. Get in there, yeah. But if you look at the roof of the church, if you can imagine what it's trying to reflect, if you turn it up the other way, what would the first thing you would think it looked like? No. What do you think if you turn this all upside down? What would it look like? A boat, yes. Any particular boat? It's a church we're in. Noah's Ark. Spot on. Right, great. Hey, Noah's Ark. This is the concept of it. People that came here and went back have struggled. Some of them struggled to stay out of jail because, really, can you imagine? You're never going to see your wife again. You're never going to see your family. They may bring them out, but you could get divorced after 7 years if you were married. A lot of guys came out here single men, but some came out married. I'll mention one. There's a few people I could tell you about going and on, but I'll mention one of my favourites. Has anybody in Western Australia heard of Horrocks Beach?
Yeah.
Right, have you been there?
Yeah.
I've driven past it. I didn't even know about Horrocks until I started working here a couple of weeks ago.
Couple of weeks ago.
I got into this in West Australia. Joseph Horrocks. He is a Royal Naval medic, right? And he has seen, because he's in the Royal Navy, he's seen battle. You can imagine this guy. He's seen action. He's seen whatever. He's done his time. He leaves the Royal Navy. He's got a family, one wife and 3 kids. He actually gets into forgery. He's forging documents. He gets done a couple of times. He gets into London. He gets on one too many times. Off to Western Australia. Off he goes. You know, captive. Off he's sent to the far other side of the world. His wife doesn't go, and his wife's never heard of again. You get the feeling a lot of them were embarrassed about their husbands getting thrown into jail and thrown over here. Just a big embarrassment. Now, a lot of people who have got a background as convicts, for a long time they never actually talked about it. Or they destroyed evidence, or they destroyed documents if they could. Only now people look back and say, look, that was a proud part of my life, that we were part of the Western Australia. I'm completely different. I just came out as a free immigrant. Out we come. Finish up in the armed forces, and out here you go. Now, Horrocks, he gets sent out here. He works on the building itself, and he gets sent up to, on ticket of leave, up to just north of Geraldton, Port Gregory, up north of Geraldton, and he's working as a medic. But he falls out with the establishment. He falls out with them because he's treating people, he's treating the free settlers. He's not really supposed to do that. So he goes in a big huff or something happens and he disappears. He walks inland, or he goes inland, and he stops at, obviously must have just been bushland, nothing else. It's where the town of Northampton is now. And he builds a church there. He also builds a mill there. He builds houses there. He builds a school there. He brings people up farmers.
She built a church.
Did you build that church? What's that church called?
In Darwin.
It's called Gwala.
Yeah.
And if you look on the website of Gwala Church, you will see Joseph Horrocks' grave. When he dies, he actually did other things. He discovers copper up there, and he applies for a rail line between copper mine and Geraldton, which happens after he's dead. But he gets buried in his own church, and you can still see the thing online. And under it, because this man did a lot for the people up there. He was a medic, he was the doctor, they called him. But he did a lot in his life. When it goes, Joseph Horrocks, when he birth and death date, and then it says, the poor have lost a friend. That's on his, on his stone. Now, we've got another problem I did mention earlier on. Only Protestants. The Catholics are here as well, make no mistake. They come out with the guards, they come out with the prisoners, and they're getting more and more of them, particularly more Irish people, because there was a higher percentage of Irish people who were Catholic than in Britain, or than in the rest of the mainland. But they're coming out here regardless, and they ask, the people out here ask for a church, an Irish chapel in this establishment, the convict establishment. And wrote back to the Gray, a man called Gray, Sir Gray, I don't know what his title was really, in the UK government. And he writes back and says there is no place in the whole of the British convict establishments throughout the world for any Catholic church. So he's not going to grant it. But the governor here at the time, Henderson at the time, he actually said, look, that room that you were in down there, the association room, there was 4 of them, one below it, another 2 along here. We're not using them so much because the convicts are now building outside there, outside in the depots. We'll give you one of the rooms as long as you furbish it. And absolutely did. The local people of Fremantle furbished the room, as you'll take you to right now, to talk and to what it is now as a Catholic chapel. I'm going to take you along the corridor here, and then I'll go down the stairs and we can go into the chapel from there. So follow me, guys.